Hey, I'm Danny Surname, and I thought I'd do a review of Sense8 because I just finished watching it. It was amazing, it was totally my brand of sci-fi, and I just wanted to say, hey, go watch it. It was great. The premise? Brilliant. Like, the premise was so huge that I kind of felt like it wasn't gonna be executed nearly as well as it actually was. So, well done. It was great. It was done by the people who did The Matrix, which is one of my favourite films. So basically the premise is about 8 people who can all telepathically share each other's sensory experiences. And they're spread across the world, and they were all born on the same day. And a bunch of other people are trying to hunt them down. It's new-ish, but it also comes from ideas that we've seen before on TV. It was great, it was executed top-notch. 10 out of 10 would recommend, just based on the premise and how it was done alone. So the cinematography and the aesthetics were awesome, they were lovely. I think sometimes it was a little bit too much, it was a little bit sci-fi-y. I'm not a film person, like I don't study film, so I don't know the terms and stuff. There were a lot of like spirals around stuff, which worked a lot of the time, but sometimes it was a little bit, you're trying to make something dramatic that kind of stands on its own. You could have just shot that as is. But the colours and the sets were all top-notch, great, lovely. It was a really engaging program to look at. My favourite thing about the series is the characters. They are brilliant, I think they're amazingly done. All 8 of them are completely different from each other, and I think that their personalities engage really well. The first couple of episodes were a little bit slow because they were trying to set up all 8 of these kind of backgrounds. All the characters have their own storylines that come together with the main storyline, which is really cool. So it took them a while to set that up, but I do feel like at first some of the characters seemed a little bit boring. By the end of the show they were all as well developed as each other, which was really awesome to see, because if it hadn't, that would have been a bit of a letdown. They also had really interesting relationships with each other, and the most interesting scenes were where you had characters that you wouldn't have expected to mentally visit each other, or that hadn't mentally visited each other before, or hadn't for a while. I think the fact that there were 8 really well developed characters allowed for a lot of interest. You didn't easily get bored with it. Once something became a little bit expected, they'd throw in a different character that hadn't been with that one and kind of set up this whole new relationship, which was really interesting. It really worked well. The people who have this connection are called Sense8s, and some of the Sense8s fell in love with each other, which I felt like was done okay. Like it didn't feel too forced. It could have also probably been done a little bit better. It's an expected idea, but I think it was done okay. My favourite romantic relationship was between Wolfgang and Carla. Wolfgang is played by Max Reinfeldt, who is an actor I've been really getting into, so I was really excited when I saw he was going to be in Sense8. There's also a couple of other actors that I've seen in different places. There's Saeed from Lost. He's good, a little bit overdramatic in the same way that he was in Lost, but still pretty good. My other favourite relationship that was friendshipy, I've written it down, was Will and Nomi. I loved their friendship because he's a cop and she used to be a hacktivist, so it's like this brand of bad cop that just allows them to do all the things that need to be done on the legal side of it. And I don't know, I just really like that they work together with their knowledge, and it's kind of like a friendship of necessity, but also at the same time their personalities work together well. So that's my favourite friendship. I don't have a favourite actor or character from the show, but the characters that I did like, I've written down Sun and Leto. I really like them. Sun is just badass, she's fucking awesome. Leto, I think, was a really interesting character to play with. I don't feel like he was as linked into the bigger stuff as everybody else was, but I still think he was really cool, and I really liked the actor who played him. All of the actors did really well. There was no one that I felt like wasn't as good. There were some that were better than others, but they were all of a good standard. What was so good was when they mentally visit each other. Some of the scenes you have like multiple Sense8s that are all in different places, and the way that they edited it together was so seamless and brilliant and lovely to watch. Incredibly engaging. I think that is my overall favourite thing, is the editing of the show. And the other thing I really loved was the representation. There was a huge amount of diversity on the show. There was a lot of racial diversity, there's a lot of nationality diversity, there was a lot of sexuality diversity, there was a trans character. I feel like they tried to hit diversity, which really worked with the fact that you were trying to put together 8 characters that lived across the world. Just the characters were awesome. I really loved the show a lot more than I thought I was going to. I knew that I would like it because I loved The Matrix, but wow, it was freaking awesome and I highly recommend it. It's only available on Netflix, so if you have Netflix, check it out. I don't know if it's gonna come out anywhere that's not Netflix. Presumably you'll be able to access it somewhere on the internet. But that's it. I loved it, so I just wanted to tell you about it. Give me an ego boost, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. I forgot to mention a couple of things that really showcase how awesome Sense8 was with its editing. The orgy scene, the fight scenes, and the last episode were the ones where I thought they really kind of gelled together the different areas and the different senses that everyone was experiencing at once.